So first, a little bit about me. This is my first year at Alpharetta. I've been teaching for 16 years in the general field of English language arts. 10 of those years, though, I've been working with high school students, and then another 6 of those years has been in the college classroom, teaching composition courses and directing a university writing center. And I'm happy to be at Alpharetta this year. I'm a mom of 2. I've got 2 kids, a 4th grader and a 6th grader, so not quite to high school level yet, 2 younger kids. And writing instruction plays a central role in my classroom. I'm guessing that your son or daughter has told you that maybe already. We've been doing a lot of writing in class, but my time as a writing center director at a university really helped to shape the way that I teach writing in little bits all the time, not just when we have a big paper due. My website, class website, has a lot of things that could be useful to you. I put the URL here on this slide, but the fastest way to get to it is just to search by my last name in the Alpharetta staff directory on the Alpharetta site. And my email, if you need to get to me, is mitchellk5. So my daily approach in 10th Honors and World Lit Honors is a combination of reading and writing and discussion, more or less in almost every class. We're going to read a wide variety of literature from a lot of different times and places and cultures, a lot of different genres as well. So sometimes the students will be reading at home, and then we come in and point to passages that were specifically, useful or illuminating in what they read. Sometimes we'll read together in class, especially with the case of poetry, drama, which we've just begun together now. And sometimes even when we're looking at prose or novels or short stories, I'll get them started together in class. We'll read aloud and sort of dissect and analyze, look closely at a few passages before they go home to finish it. We write in some capacity nearly every day. Not every single day maybe, but usually, at least 3 or 4 times a week, we're writing something in class. That could mean a quick written response. It could mean that they write an intro paragraph for an essay that they're never going to finish, just to play around with the idea of writing an intro on a particular topic. But I believe in scaffolding to increase writing skills. So we use a lot of small written work almost daily in class. And then my class is also heavily discussion-based. I think that discussion among students, trading those ideas, building upon one another's ideas, are often the building blocks of solid writing and solid analytical thinking later down the line. So we're always talking about what it is that we're reading and how it relates to other disciplines like history, what they've learned there, and how it relates to the world outside of the page as well. We have 6 units of study this year. 1, 2, and 3 we'll get to this semester, fall semester, before holiday break. And then when we come back in January, we'll move through 4, 5, and 6. Right now, we're diving deep into characters. We use summer reading as a way to do that. Talked a lot about the characters that they've examined in their summer reading novels. They did a writing assignment where they took a minor character and rewrote part of the narrative from that minor character's perspective. So we're looking at major and minor characters, round, flat, static, dynamic, talking about characterization. And we're beginning a play as well that works with the same idea. Unit 2 is about evaluating evidence and its appeal. Unit 3 is looking at identity as a specific, very complex character concept, the ways that we all perceive ourselves and how important that is as we move around in the world, and how that's reflected in the literature that we read. Unit 4, which is in January, we work on developing ideas through evidence, and we'll do a research paper in that unit. Unit 5, building a theme through characterization, how theme and characters work together. And then Unit 6, the final one of the year, we'll look at ethos, pathos, logos, understanding, reading, and writing with rhetorical appeals. World Lit is one of my favorite classes to teach because we get to read so many interesting things from around the world and across all sorts of time periods and cultures as well. It leaves us a lot to talk about in the classroom. Today we started Ibsen's A Doll's House, so by the time you see this presentation, we're about a week into studying that play. We're also reading this year Shakespeare's Macbeth, most likely Sophocles' Antigone as well. Cry the Beloved Country, a South African book. The Alchemist, a Brazilian novel. William Golding's Lord of the Flies, and also A Thousand Splendid Suns during spring semester. In addition to that, I'm looking at a lot of different short stories and poems that I bring in and that we find in anthologies that we have here in the classroom, and also with some online sources, short stories and poems that help to supplement the novels and the longer works that we are reading. Potentially, we'll do some literature circles with choice novels in the spring, but we'll see what time allows for. And I did want to mention briefly, too, that all texts are provided by Alpharetta, but I will also, email novel selections a few weeks in advance if you want to purchase. I know that some parents like to purchase for their kids, or kids like to write in them to make annotations as we're studying the novel. So I will try to give you a heads up on that. It'll also be listed on the weekly agenda when we're getting ready to begin a new text in the next couple of weeks. All right, grading rules for 10th honors. Major grades are 50% of a student's final average, and that means major writing assignments, projects, tests occasionally, things that take quite a bit of time to prepare for. Minor grades are worth 35%. Those are smaller assignments like written responses, quizzes, that sort of thing. Anything that can't be done in one day necessarily, or can't be prepared for in one day, but takes a couple of days to accomplish. And then practice are all those daily things. So daily work, sometimes in class, homework, sometimes journal exercises if I want them to do a really quick, free write on a topic, things like that. Major grades, I should also mention, there are 6 in a semester. We do 2 per unit. So we just had a narrative, for instance, for Unit 1. They're turning that paper in on Wednesday, September 1st. And then we'll have a project also at the end of the unit on the play that we're reading now. So 2 major grades per unit is the way that we move through the semester. All right, skills that students need, what's needed to succeed in this class. Just a few things, primarily their attention and their focus in class, but a few other things are helpful as well. Computer, pen, paper, a folder dedicated to this class is ideal so that students can stay organized. We will not use computers every single day, but we do use them fairly often. If we're reading from a common document together that I have available for them online, if they're working on a draft of a paper, for instance, in cases like that, they do use a computer in class. A commitment to a regular practice of writing and revising. One thing that we are learning as the year goes on is that good writers aren't magically appearing without that act of writing and revising again and again. So students really need to commit to that idea that we write and then we revise and then we write again. And a regular commitment to that kind of practice and attitude toward writing will really lead to strong writers at the end of the class. The ability to focus in class and pay attention in class is important. Also to engage in intelligent discussion involving active listening skills with one another. They learn a lot from each other if they talk and listen in class and really discuss thoughtfully what we're reading. So I encourage that. And then lastly, a good command of the language is helpful, or at least just a willingness to work hard and to keep learning to get better and better at the craft of writing. And last, a few words about how parents can partner and support if you'd like to. You can sign up for Remind if you want. There's a code there that you can text to the number 81010. That's also on my class website at the very top. You'll see it there to remind you to do that as well. You can check in on our weekly plans using the class website too. I post a weekly agenda every weekend, usually Friday afternoon, or if not, it comes sometimes Sunday afternoon to detail exactly what's happening for the rest of the week, Monday through Friday. You can check in on our plans there. Encourage your child to remember the 9-week rule for recovery. I will be reminding them a lot in class as we get closer to that, but just a reminder about that new recovery policy. School-wide, county-wide, and then talk to your child perhaps about what we're doing in class. It's interesting. I think you'll learn a lot about them that maybe you didn't know before. Every time they write something, they seem to learn something new about themselves, so it's fun to see and to watch them on that journey and to hear what they have to say about all the fun stuff we're reading. Lastly, if you are feeling generous or if you want to, I always welcome supplies, specifically antibacterial wipes, sanitizers, tissues, things like that to keep us healthy in this season that we're in. Feel free to give me an email if you have any questions at all. I'll respond as soon as I can. I'm happy to help and excited to partner with you in your child's education in English class this year. Thank you.